however you are and whenever you are. Welcome to Paranormal Now. This is Alan B. Smith. Join us as we traverse the cosmic highway of paranormal portals and tantalizing turnoffs. And tonight we have a great guest, April Busset. She's a clairvoyant, ghost hunter, and remote viewer featured on the travel channels The Holzer Files. So we'll get to April in just a bit. I wanted to bring this up for everybody. I don't know how I missed it, but I just caught on to this petition that is going around to release all UAP video footage, requesting for the government to release all UAP video footage so that scientists and the civilian public can study all of these UFOs and UAPs. And I think it's really interesting. It's starting to get close to that 5,000 mark, which is apparently in the world of petitions a tent pole. So maybe if enough of us sign it, we can get some attention and get more pressure from the Congress people to release some of the UAP footage. Of course, some of it may need to be kept top secret, but I venture to say that there is still footage out there that is perfectly suitable for the public at large, including us. So here, I'm going to put on the screen right now for you so you can see that. And I'm also going to put the link into the comment section so you can follow this petition. And also, if you'd like to jump on and join and sign a petition, which I did anyway. I mean, honestly, it doesn't hurt to give it a go. So there you go. It's in chat. And I'll just read this for you real quick. So the petition says, quote, and this is by Adam Goldsack: the radical transmedium technology of unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, is currently being withheld from the American public. The UAPTF, that's the UAP Task Force, DNI preliminary report on UAP found that 143 of 144 cases were classified as unidentified. We request that the new UAP office created by Congress make available all unclassified videos and cases so that the civilian science can investigate and better understand this technology. So, hey, I'm game. We'll see how it goes. Maybe spread the word. We'll bring April on here right now. And April, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me on. How are you? Yeah, I'm all for that. I want to sign that.
Yeah, so
I was saying earlier, I see that you're going to also be at the paranormal UFO and Paranormal Museum in Pine Bush, New York, on April 1st.
I'll be doing a lecture there. Is it April? Yeah. April and April 1st.
Yes,
that's awesome. Now you've also presented at Pine Bush, or you have one coming up.
I have one coming up April 22nd.
April 22nd.
Yeah.
Okay, so April 1st, come see me. April 22nd, go see April.
I'm going to be there with my friend Mary Jo Chudley. She owns a lot of haunted objects, and specifically a haunted demonic doll that was featured on a haunting on the Travel Channel just recently.
Okay,
a week or two ago.
That's awesome. Yeah, the Pine Bush UFO and Paranormal Museum in Pine Bush, New York, is where you can see these lecture series. So if you're in the New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New Jersey area, New York area, come and see us. And we actually just lost April for a second there, so hopefully she'll pop in. So in the meantime, I will remind you that aliencoffeebean.com coffee has a special discount code for Paranormal Now listeners. So if you go to aliencoffeebean.com, enter mystery20, all caps, mystery20, and you can get a 20% discount off of all of their coffee roasters. And please, everybody, please subscribe on YouTube, rate, like, comment on iTunes, and try to support this channel as much as you can. And we've got April back.
Sorry, I was abducted for a little bit.
you were. That's what happens. You just bring this stuff into your life. So, and as a special reminder, in the last 30 minutes, we'll have the Skype call-in line open. So if you want to call in and talk to April, please do. And that link is in the show notes and show description. April Busset is known as a natural-born clairvoyant, remote viewer, automatic writer, ghost hunter, and shaman. April was featured on Travel Channel's hit series, The Holzer Files. She works with the most well-known celebrities in the paranormal field, investigating some of the most well-known haunted locations. She is the host of Live Readings with April, the Psychic Housewife of New Jersey, not a short title, where where she performs live psychic medium readings to a live audience, which airs on BB3 TV, Parapost Network, YouTube, and Facebook Live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. April shares that she has been communicating with spirits since the age of 4, after she was visited by her deceased father, who passed 2 years prior. She has investigated some of the most haunted places in the U.S. and accurately relayed messages from the spirits who inhabit these haunted locations. You can find out about April at intuitiveapril.com. So yeah, April, tell us a little bit more about your
Hey.
beginnings and how you got started.
Yeah, it's crazy. My father passed away when I was 2,
Hmm.
living in Hoboken with the rest of my family, and my mom remarried and moved us out to the country, which I like to call, which was Bergen County, New Jersey. And I s- right away, I moved into my new room, and my dad came to visit me. I
Oh,
woke up and I was screaming, Daddy's here," and that's how it all started. And
yeah.
I haven't seen him or heard from him since because he scared me. So, but it did open the doorway to other spirits and really bad entities coming in. So, you got to take the good with the bad. It's just like life. There's bad humans, good animals, bad animals. I'm sorry, my nose is so itchy, my allergies, my skin's itchy, everything. We were just talking about this earlier.
If
Um,
only it was 24 degrees outside.
but yeah, so I started battling these horrible spirits in the
Mhm.
house because I could see them. Once they saw that I could see my father, so all of a sudden they started gravitating towards me. Now my whole family, I have 4 sisters and 1 brother. Everyone was experiencing something in the house. I could see them. So, and they
So
were
but they knew their presence. They felt their presence. Is that what they were
yeah.
experiencing?
It was just weird things happening to them. They weren't feeling to the degree that I was, but they were being touched, grabbed. It was just an eerie feeling. Did you ever walk into? Did you ever go to a haunted location?
Not well, yes, in New Orleans. But I don't go out ghost hunting.
Yeah, but you'll feel there's a different energy at a haunted location. So that's what it felt like when you walked into our house. There was something different. We were always fighting too, just like Amityville House. They were always fighting. Most hauntings causes that friction and negativity. So it was rough, and until I got older and realized what was happening, and able to control it. And plus, I'm pretty tough. I'm Italian, so I'm like, I'm not going to take this crap from these guys
You're
anymore.
not just Italian, you're New Jersey
I'm New
Italian.
Jersey and I'm Sicilian, so
And, oh, forget about it. Okay. Yeah,
forget
I mean,
about
I, yeah, I was born and raised in Jersey, so I get it. Although we're in South Jersey, a
it.
little
Yeah,
bit different, but yeah.
yeah.
So do you think that the ghosts or spirits around your father somehow blocked off that connection that you had with him, or was it your own fear that
Um,
disconnected?
I think my father wanted to come and check on me, um, but he scared me as a child, and I think that was his fear of coming back again. Even I've been to other mediums and nobody picks him up. Did have once pick him up, and it's funny. This is really before I came out publicly. They had known that I also was a medium, and it was the weirdest experience because all of a sudden it was like the room got dark and you disappeared. Now, hey, I'm running the show now. We're gonna do live readings all night.
That that's the April show. Go ahead, April. I'm still here.
Are you still there? I'm like, you
I'm still here.
disappeared.
Yeah, but that was enjoyable. Thank you.
So anyway, so my friends giving me a reading, and all of a sudden it just got really dark. I can't breathe. Now I know why I can't breathe. Like that's when spirits are starting to manifest around me. I get this feeling where when it first started, it was scary as hell because I can't breathe. I remember saying, I can't breathe. And this really bright light, like a ball of light, appeared between us. And she started picking up my dad and other family members. It was the craziest experience. And then I started like, that's when I learned, like, how I control things. I know when they're around too. Like I was just explaining over the weekend because I did an event in at the historic Hoover House in Waynesboro, PA. Actually, with Dave
Mhm.
Schrader from the Holes of Files.
Yeah, I saw your post. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were downstairs, and I was explaining to him like there was a male spirit down there, and all of a sudden I start feeling the heaviness, and I said, "Listen, I'm starting to feel a heaviness on my chest." The
Hmm.
pressure of it, I said, you might feel it too. And this is when they start to manifest. It changes now scientifically, from a scientific point of view, it changes the barometric pressure in the room when they start appearing. So when you feel that pressure, it's spirit manifesting. See, this is science. I love the science
Yeah,
behind
yeah. That's what's interesting. So how do you know the difference? Like, for instance, how do you know it's not allergies versus
a heart
um
attack or no.
well, yeah, no, but when you're sensing something in the
It
space.
feels like the air is filling up the room, like I have air pressure on me. And I could just feel the pressure on my chest. I could, and I know it's about to happen. So I know somebody's about to appear. So that's exactly what happened. And all of a sudden, people started getting touched. I felt bad for this poor guy. I think it was like his first time investigating, and he kept feeling somebody like rubbing the back of his neck, and then another guy felt it. So with this place, um, they say when two women go, because the guy likes to taunt the women, and if you go into this bathroom, because this is where a lot of activity in the basement happens. But I was yelling at the guy. I said, "I know you here. I could feel you." And not knowing the history of this place, I said, "This man used to beat the women, and they were forced into sex slavery. They were made them prostitutes." I also saw that they performed forced abortions on these women.
Mhm.
But now this is the weird part. The guy was hiding from me because I wasn't afraid of him. But then I feel a hand like going up my shirt. It's
Whoa.
really strange, but very soft. It felt like a woman, actually, like a soft touch. And
Okay.
the girl that was in there with me saw my shirt moving as I felt the hand going up.
Holy
I
cow.
wasn't looking. I was looking in the mirror to see if I was seeing anything. Being Italian, I'm talking at the time with my hands, so my hands aren't below, so it's not touching my shirt. But it was weird, she could see that. And
Yeah.
all night, people were getting touched, but we also were hearing conversation in the corner. I'm like, and everyone heard. I'm like, do you hear that? It was just odd. It was like the conversations we were hearing. It's like almost it was a residual, which is usually meaning like a we're getting like a relapse in time where we can hear something going on, but it sounded like a man and a woman talking. So
And what does it sound like? Like a garble, or
do
is
you
it more
ever like
specific?
hear like a conversation going on and you can't make it out?
Mhm. Sure.
And you're trying to eavesdrop and
Right, all
yeah,
the time. Yeah.
trying to get the tea. I know exactly. Me too. I'm a woman.
That's
That's exactly what it sounded like. We heard it quite a few times, but that was quite an experience.
that is quite an experience. Did
Yeah.
you get any of it, recorded?
No, I'm so upset, and I have a really good. I have equipment too because I like to
Mhm.
investigate. You know, I go to investigate my friends, and then everyone's looking at me. What are you picking up? I'm like, listen, I'm just investigating. I do this for a living. I'm like, I just want to chill out, my friends.
You can't always be working, basically.
Yeah,
I mean, you
yeah,
can't always, have all the equipment going, and because sometimes, especially as a psychic, I would imagine you need sometimes to just really sink into the moment and not be distracted.
yeah. Sometimes I just want to chill out. That's it. And I said,
Yeah.
like where I'm sitting now, this is where I do my readings. This is where I do my show.
Mhm.
So I know as soon as I sit down, my brain knows what I'm going to start doing. So I go into that mode. But as soon as I get up out of this chair, I'm gonna go watch TV, hang out with my husband. I hang out
Yeah.
with my friends. I shut down. But here,
Is
people
it
come up
is
to
it
me.
a
What
switch?
do you see? Do you see my grandmother? No.
Or I was gonna say, is it a switch you can turn on and off?
uh, I guess. I Yes, yes. Exactly. It just becomes natural after a while. It's just like meditation. Like everyone says meditation is hard. It really is. It's a pain in the butt. It's hard to relax. You go, I know I'm shopping in my head all the time. So, but I always tell people if you
Did you say you're
just
shopping in your head all the time?
I'm shopping in my head. I'm like, wow, I just saw this really nice pocketbook at Nordstrom. But
Oh, wait, that's the ghost. Okay, yeah.
you give yourself like 15 minutes for like just meditation before readings. Give
Mhm.
yourself 15 minutes and you'll fall right into it and you get that sweet spot. And then
Okay,
when you come to, you're like, holy crap, I was really under.
that's amazing. Yeah, my meditation lengths still are like 15 minutes max.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
about
yeah.
all
As long as you do that much, there's people that go all day. I'm like, I don't have time for that. But, if you give yourself 15 minutes to fall into it, it's just like going, like some people have a hard time going to sleep.
yeah.
Just laying there, and finally you'll fall
Mhm.
asleep. That it's like this. Eventually you're going to fall deep into that sweet spot of meditation.
Can if all people can get into that sweet spot, can all people tune in, do you think, to the spirit world?
I think we all have the ability. I always explain it this way. Well, say if you're not like I always say most psychics are like born with it. Most psychics you're gonna hear about it starts at the age of 4. That's like that the age for
That's
some
interesting.
reason. But
Yeah.
you can be taught, just like say you have an interest in art and you can draw pretty decent, you take some classes and you get better. You're not gonna be Picasso, you know, some because you're not really born with it. But you can learn. We can learn anything, but you can get to that point, but it takes time. It's like going to college. You need to go to college for this. You need to put in the 4 years, maybe another 2,
Mm.
to become the doctor of it. But it does take time, but you can do it. Um, like I took classes. I trained with John Edward. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
Yeah.
One of
Oh,
the very
I was watching
first,
John Edward when I was a kid.
yeah.
I remember watching
I
him
was on
on the
a
Sci-Fi
show.
Channel.
I was on one of the very first shows. I brought my
Real
mom. Yeah,
really? I
yeah.
wonder if I saw that. That's
Oh
so
my
funny.
god. This is my face the whole time because it's funny because I was taking my mom and I just adored him. And
Yeah.
I actually I trained with him too after this. But I remember I had the tickets for a month and I kept saying, "Dad," because my stepfather had passed. And I said,
Mhm.
"Listen, I'm taking mommy to John Edward." I said, "So we're gonna have our little code word, so I know it's you." So our code word was Marine because he was a Marine. So I get on there and right away I'm like, third row up, and John had come up to me and sat with me. We did the promo commercials together. He would always sit with me. So
Oh, okay.
that's it. I'm getting red. So, so all of a sudden the show starts, and he starts reading these 2 girls in front of me. So I'm so pissed, and I'm like yelling at my dad in my head. I'm like, I can't believe I brought Bobby here, and then you're not even coming through. And all of a sudden John stops in the middle. He goes to the girls. He goes, "Hold on one second." He looks at me. He goes, "Who's the Marine?" And I'm just like this the whole time. And he goes, "I'll be right back to you."
Yeah.
That's how good he was. He has the most control of his abilities that I've ever met.
I've heard Tyler Henry reference him, multiple quite often, actually. He
He's the
seems to revere
godfather.
him.
He's the
Yeah.
godfather of mediums. He's just friggin' amazing. And he does
Yeah.
it with such ease.
Well, and I remember there was like some accusations made against his show, like they were recording people as they're like walking in. But I think that was all just skeptics.
That's all skeptics. So let me tell you something.
May-
We
Yeah.
signed off. They didn't like I had my tickets under another name.
Hmm.
I'm a big skeptic too. I can understand people being skeptical of me. Um, and I had under another name, but as soon as you're going out to stage, you have to sign a piece of paper, not printed your name, just a signature.
Hmm.
So you do a little scribble, so they're not going to make that out. And technology wasn't that great or that fast, when the show came out, but he is the real deal and amazing.
It's amazing that we keep hearing that from different people.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you talk to
so,
Serena?
no, I haven't.
All
Mm-mm.
right. I
Have
he
you had a conversation with him?
No, I have not. He's very talented, very talented.
Oh yeah, we're fans for sure.
Yeah.
We're also April Busset fans too,
Oh, yay!
and
Woohoo!
yeah, especially up here in the tri-state area.
Yeah,
Um, so when you started noticing with a skill around 4 years old, in the ensuing years, what did you do to hone your skill, or did you just kind of live with it? Because I had a friend who she could see auras
yeah,
and apparently spirits and other things. I'm not sure, but definitely could see auras clearly.
yeah.
It was a skill she didn't want, and as
We
she was
don't have
growing into
to.
her yeah, I mean, as she was growing into her teenagehood, it was fading away, and she was like letting it go.
Yeah.
So what about you as you were growing up? What was that experience?
I gotta tell you, you don't have to see auras. Like I've trained to see auras. I
Hmm.
I only see them if I want to. I'm not walking around looking at people's auras going, oh, she's orange, she's red. It's not like that. It's only if I zone in on it. That's why, like, even some of the reads, because now everything's like Zoom and virtual, and I love it. And I'll look at them sometimes, like if I'm not picking up enough information, I look at them and I'm like, all right, this girl's got a lot of money. um, but
On the
yeah, but honing in on it, it's something you just practice. Anyone can do it, and really, I'm sure you have heard this. If you look at a tree, do it with nature,
Mhm.
and if you kind of like look at it and unfocus your eyes, kind of, you know what I'm saying? Do you ever look at something and
Sure. Yeah.
unfocus? Yeah,
Just
and that's what
relax.
you do, and you'll see the aura around leaves and trees, and it's like a bright white.
And then how do you see different colors in the aura?
I'm going to tell you, it's like this. It's I not actually seeing it, but feeling it. I see it. So I
Ah,
feel the color orange. My brain is telling me there's orange there. So then I see it. But it's
oh,
actually a
interesting.
feeling. Yeah, it's very odd, and I try to explain the best I can to people so they understand.
Is it beneficial in any way to see auras, or is it just a thing you can see, or how do you
All
make
right.
use of that
It's always
skill?
gonna change. It's always gonna change. But what it basically does, like when I was learning how to read auras, like they tell you the colors what they mean. I never listen to it. I go what the colors feel to me. So orange, which in they use it too. Orange is creative. Gold is like you're an ascendant. Like you are also have the ability to be psychic. But gold for me too is like money or money around it where money's coming. Green is healing. So I know they're either like in the medical field or healers. So yellow, I know that they're givers, the listeners, the friendly people that everyone goes to.
What about purple or lavender? I've heard lavender before.
Um lavender is what was that to me? I don't see much lavender. That also that's psychic abilities too. That's somebody that practices like tarot, something in the field. But that's how I always perceive it. You know,
Interesting. Okay,
that's
yeah.
like with the tarot cards. Like the tarot cards, I never knew how to read them. I didn't know the meaning, but I would use them, and I would kind of like try and feel what they meant to me.
So if someone has, like you said, a gold aura, can that means their spirit is older and wiser, or they're
That
tapped
they
into
have
the
the
divine?
ability that they are more far in advance as a psychic or a medium,
Wow,
and they
interesting.
might not even
Okay.
realize it.
I was gonna ask you, maybe is it possible they don't know that
Yeah,
they have that?
yeah,
And how
and
does one discover that if, to find
well,
out?
like there's like this how many clairs are there? 5 clairs. I have I have
Mhm.
all of them, but my best one, and I can't pronounce it. I should really practice saying this word, claircognizance.
They're cognizant.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, that's my strongest one, and that's just knowing. So I just know
Right.
things. I don't know where it's coming from because I know a lot of people say, "Hey, my spirit guide Bob is telling me." I'm like,
Do
I
you
don't
have
have a
do you have a
spirit.
Bob's? Okay.
I don't have a spirit. I do have one, but she's my
Mhm.
protector. But I've been talking to her, and I'm like, listen, you better start working, B. I'm like, you, because I know you're protecting me, but I need information, so-
Yeah.
but
Okay, April,
I
let me
should tell you. Oh, do we have to take a break?
sure. No, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, how I first met this one. I'm not
Mhm.
a big fan of the spirit guides. I know everyone says I have, an American Indian, da da da, and I'm like, I roll my eyes. But actually, this one I met. I hate all the hokey BS.
That that conversation has come up quite a bit on this show. Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember saying to my husband, we were just newly married, and I said
Mhm.
to my husband, I said, listen, there's a really big woman following me. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, not a fat woman. I mean a really tall, like 7 feet tall woman. She's just in spirit, and I don't know what she wants, but I think she's here to protect me. So nothing's happened. I could just feel her. So
Mhm.
one day I'm driving to work, and I feel this big hand on my right leg, the gas leg. And I said,
Mhm.
"Oh, I got you." I took my foot off the gas. I knew she was telling me to slow down. Well, when I did that, a car came out. If I was still at that speed, it would have T-boned me. So
That's
that's her thing that she does. She protects me.
That's amazing. April, we're
Okay.
taking this first break. I can't wait to come back on the other side with our guest, April Busset. And we have so much more to cover. She runs the gamut from ghost hunting. Wow, that's a first for me. Ghost hunting and psychic medium. This is Alan B. Smith for Paranormal Now on the Paranormal Pop YouTube channel. Rebroadcast 2 a.m. Fridays Eastern Standard Time on KUNX Network. We'll be right.
Tell me why, with 12 sides, the odds are that we die, roll the die. As you hide, I can't find you on the other side of the line.
This coffee is delicious. Is that a UFO? I'm actually seeing a UFO. This coffee is awesome. That's why they call it alien coffee bean. Is this even made on Earth? Hey all, Paranormal Now will be syndicated on the UNX network, the new mainstream, where you can find your favorite hosts and shows on the cutting edge of ufological and paranormal news and topics. Listen for Paranormal Now rebroadcast on the X at 2 a.m. EST Fridays, 11 p.m. PST Thursdays at unxnetwork.com.
On and again, the signs keep on coming, they point to the end, but I hold on so tight.
Welcome back to Paranormal Now. This is Alan B. Smith, your grateful host. Our guest tonight is April Busset, and taking us out of the break was music by Septembrio. That's Septembrio, spelled with a Y.com, if you want to find out more about them.
They were
April.
good.
Oh, aren't they awesome?
Yeah. I love your commercial, by the way. That
Oh,
was
really? Thank you.
fabulous. You're natural.
I appreciate that. Yeah, and Alien Coffee Bean, they're really good people. They provide me coffee, and they also are paranormal experiencers as well. So we're just have a
Try
good
this.
relationship there. Yeah. Um, so April, intuitiveapril.com if you want to find out about April. Um, so you are also a ghost hunter. What does that mean exactly for you?
Well, we investigate haunted locations, like you see on TV,
Hmm.
and we go out there and sit for hours and with our recorders doing testing. Like there's this one um, experiment we do. Oh gosh, the Gansfield experiment, and you've probably seen it on Kindred Spirits, where somebody will put the headphones on, listen to white noise, and somebody will be downstairs in another room, and they're going to say questions like, "What's the spirit's name?" And that person, whatever they're hearing through this white noise, are going to say what they're hearing. So they'll be like, "Bill, murder, kill her," like, and we're writing this down. And it's
Hmm.
funny, we'll go over the questions, and they'll kind of, they, 9 times out of 10, they're answering the questions. It's a really cool experiment.
So when you say answering the questions, it's relevant, I guess, whatever they're saying to what
Yeah.
your inquiry is? Okay.
And sometimes, even if it's not relevant, it's relevant to the history of the place. So if they're not answering the question of, like, murder, yeah, there was a murder here. And you'll
Okay.
hear two women, and two women were murdered there. Um, I know we were just at the Kreischer Mansion, and we did that. And I remember the guy saying murder, um, Sicilian, because the mob ties to the place.
And I always ask people this. So depending on your ethnicity, your background, do you feel that you connect with someone because of that? Like, let's say, you know, there was a Sicilian mobster that was killed in a place, right?
Yeah.
Does being Sicilian make a difference at all? Do you think
It
as being a
does. People use trigger objects when we go for investigation. So if
Mhm.
there's been known to see children there, they'll bring toys to draw out those children's spirits.
Okay.
And
So anything the ghost can associate with.
exactly, exactly. I did well. I did one location, and I know they brought toys for the kids, and there was a guy there, not a good guy. He was a bad guy in life, but he loved this ghost children. He was very protective over them. So, but the people saying, "What, we're not feeling him here, because he's known to you. You'll feel him." So they turn around to me and they go, "Where is he?" Now I know he's not in the room. I said, "He's right there. I could see him. He's across the hall from us." When I said that, this man hit me in the head. I got punched by a ghost, like, and
In the front, back, and the side.
in the
How did
back
they?
of my head, in the back, like he like bammed me in the back of the head. He was actually a mobster too, a hitman. And it's funny. It's like you could feel it, but not really feel like I've had this happen before readings. Like I felt like somebody took a
Yeah.
bat to the back of my head one time right before a reading. And when I was talking to the girl, I'm like, I was bringing her sister through, and she was hit in the back of the head with a bat by the boyfriend. And that's how she was murdered.
Do you think? Okay, so if a ghost could do this and physically affect a human being, why is it that you would feel these things whereas another psychic wouldn't have that same physical experience? Is it kind of like reliving like an echo of what happened, or is the ghost literally
No, the
somehow?
ghost is literally doing it, but it's not. All right, so when I see images,
Mhm.
like I could feel, like if they're telling me their name, I could feel the
Yeah.
name. Say it's Joe. I can feel the name Joe. I know it's hard to explain, but I see it, know it,
Mhm.
but it's in my brain. Like where everything, it's just like meditation. You could travel all over the world with meditation in your head. Everything's here. So when he hit me, it was because it was through like through our minds, like he hit me. So I felt the sensation of it, but I'm not physically being hit. But
So it's a psychosomatic effect caused by the ghost.
exactly, exactly. Do you know
Okay.
this? Dr. Stephen Greer with the
Mhm.
UFOs.
Yeah.
They go into meditation, and every time they do the meditation and contact the aliens or UFOs, the UFOs come around.
Right.
That's how you connect to the aliens, through meditation.
No, it's so funny because so many people are highly critical of Stephen Greer, and
Yeah.
you can argue about his philosophy on things,
Yeah,
and
yeah. I'm not going to
but
agree on
as far as
everything.
yeah, but I'm sorry. As far as the CE5 experience, you think that's a real thing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have, being a shaman,
Yeah.
so when I was uh, having my rites done, when I was being initiated as a shaman, it's through, we would do meditation with our chief, and we were both experiencing the same thing in meditation together. It's insane. It's the craziest. And I listen, everyone that knows me, I hate hokey BS. I hate
Right.
all the
Well,
hokey. Yeah. Like people
yeah.
say, like, what's my past life? Not that I don't believe in past lives. I do.
Mhm.
But I said, even if I did do that, how
Yeah.
are you going to verify it? I could tell you anything I want.
And not everybody can be Cleopatra.
Yeah. But everybody wants to be. I remember taking a class and we were going to find out our spirit animal. And everyone's, I'm a cheater. I'm a tiger. And they turn, what are you? And I'm like, I'm a mouse. I was a mouse. Like,
But that's clearly honesty right there.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, for me, a spirit animal is just something that I applied to myself as a kid because I liked wolves, so I was like, "Oh,
Exactly.
wolves
Yeah.
make the spirit animal."
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
I think we can use any of these spirit animals to our, but you really have to be honest with yourself and really feel it. Like, what are you doing? It's funny
Mhm.
during this. This wasn't with my tribe, but with a class I was taking with the spirit animals, and I remember they said, like, all right, you have to go. You walk through this doorway, and you're going to find out what spirit animal you are, and then you have to go through this other doorway where the gatekeeper is going to let you in. So everyone had to stop and go by the gatekeeper. Well, I was this mouse, and I know I ran up to the by the guy, and the guy looked at me and just let me in. Everyone else had to stop, but they were the lion and the tiger and the big eagle, So I'm like, see,
That
sometimes it's just
is
to
that.
be the basic honest Joe.
Well, I think it could possibly be self-aggrandizement, but also it could be maybe people need to feel that extra sense of empowerment.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't care. So I really want to feel the experience. I want to feel the experience of it, and I don't want to lie to myself.
Well, how? Okay, so if humans, living, breathing humans, have spirit and guides, or can ghosts? Do ghosts have animal guides? Do they have that sort of thing? Have you ever noticed any kind of connection there?
No, I have not, but I have seen spirit animals.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw, but it wasn't in. It was a cat, but I couldn't make out what it was. But it was this like black shadow. I remember talking to the woman that owned the place, and I didn't know there was a known spirit cat there. And all of a sudden, I saw like this black. You know how you see the shadows? They talk about the shadow people. It was
Mhm.
like that, but it was this little. I'm like, holy crap! Did you just see that? And she's,
Wow.
oh, that's the ghost cat. I'm like, that just scared the shit out of me. I'm like, that
She
was
knew about this ghost.
yeah. So
Knew about it.
they've caught it quite a few times on camera, but it's a shadow. It's a shadow figure, but an animal. It's wild. The
So,
paranormal is wild.
do animals all have souls then?
Everything has a soul. Everything.
But a soul in the sense that it's a contained sort of consciousness that
Yeah,
that lives on after death.
yeah. We're because you know what? We're all energy. We're all energy, and energy does not die. You have that scientific mind. you know, that analytical mind. Your wife is like that too, correct? I she I see her reading and writing a lot. Very, very, very bright. Very bright.
She's very bright. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very bright. Not that she does have an open mind though, but
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
yeah. But she's
She's about ready to walk in here soon. Like, what are you talking to me?
yeah, we're talking about you. We're talking about
uh,
you. Why
yes, very, very rational, but open-minded
yes,
at the
I
same.
see. I right when we were on break, I'm like, I could feel her energy. I see her writing. She studies. She takes everything in. Um, everything's logical. Everything's well thought out. I am not like that. She is rational. I am not rational. And I was admiring her in my head, saying, "Wow, I wish I was more calmer about that and taking things in stride and waiting before I respond to things. Being
Mhm.
Sicilian, I'm a hothead, so right away, like she thinks about things first. But she's intelligent. She's very intelligent.
Very intelligent. Yeah. We're both atheists, but I'm also an agnostic. I add that caveat, a spiritual agnostic too,
Yeah,
because I do believe there's something else. I just don't know what
yeah,
exactly. That's why I love talking to psychics like you, because I'm so curious about what's going on the other side, and what can we learn from it. And I guess that leads me to a question: what is the benefit of being a psychic, and like how does that help anyone, including yourself or those of us who aren't?
huh? How does it benefit? I think we're here to help people. Like I always felt like that when I was younger. I'm like, oh, man, my job is in life is to help people. I'm like friggin' great. I'm like, I want to have fun. But the only thing that stinks about it though is like people think I always know what's going on. What do you think? I'm like, I don't know. I'm, just hanging
Yeah.
out here, I'm like, I don't know what's we're not gonna know everything. And we don't see everything like clearly. It's not clear. It's like this is it's all day long, it's like putting a puzzle together. I am deciphering images. I'm deciphering bits and pieces. You're not having a full conversation with the dead. You know, so I'm telling you, I roll my eyes at a lot of psychics. I really do because I say he just told me the whole story, and I'm like, no, he did not, because we can't hear them that clearly, or else we would all have a cell phone to heaven. You know, it.
Yes, and that's the thing, is that all the different psychics, um I kind of feel like have a piece of the puzzle.
Mhm.
Like what you see is a little bit different than what someone else sees or feels
Yeah,
or experiences or hears. um and it seems to me very few are 100% adamant that they know exactly what, let's say, God is,
yeah.
or the divine. Do you believe there's a literal heaven, per se?
Well, I'm going to tell you, heaven is what you want it to be. It's what
Hmm.
you ever see What Dreams May Come?
I was just gonna say, I love that movie. Yeah.
Love that movie, and I said that is exactly what it is. I remember one time reading this girl, and her dad came through, and I said, she goes, "Well, how's he doing?" I said, "Listen, he's got his own piece of heaven there. His heaven is whatever something you love. Like we love upstate New York. I bet I'm gonna have a place like I'm gonna have my own upstate New York in
Yeah.
heaven." This guy was living on a golf course. He loved golf. That's what I was seeing. Now I didn't know this. I said, "Well, I said he's living on a golf course. He's happy." Then she goes, "You know what, April? He lived on a golf course when he was alive." And I said, "Well, guess what? He still is. He loved golf so much." So it's whatever you want it to be. Just like in What Dreams May Come. It was so realistic, and it's true when people suicide or earthbounds that
Mhm.
don't cross that threshold, they do get lost. They start because they're in between. So they start forgetting their earthly life and they don't know where they are. So they kind of, that's where they start going a little crazy.
Because they are uncertain, or is it because is it like a
They're
fog?
scared.
What
I
are
think,
you scared?
I believe they're afraid to cross over in fear of what's going to happen. I mean, I'm going to be afraid when I'm ready to die, even though I've seen it a million times. I'm still scared, you know. And I, but as soon as you cross, we lose the ego, everything, you know, all the emotions and everything. But there, what I have seen is that it's whatever you want it to be. But we do go through what is it, a life review. So if you're a good person, you're gonna go over and like, all right, you know, I was mean to Bobby at one time. You know, I put gum in Jill's hair or whatever, you know, and you see how it affected people. You hurt people's feelings. Then you
Yeah.
have the people that murder people. So you know what? You're going to see that you killed the father of 4 children, and this really messed those kids up. One son became a hero. You have to see how you affected other people's lives. You must be humbled.
But if somebody is a literal psychopath, if they can't experience compassion or empathy, do people like that even have a soul?
Yes, everyone has a soul, but I think as soon as they cross over, it changes. That that
Mm.
all those human feelings fall off. You know, some people's brains are not wired correctly. Some people became psychopaths from from traumas in their life, bad parenting or whatever happened to them, or some just the wiring in their brains. It could have been from medicine they took. It just, you know, some people get messed up, they hit their head, you know, but you
Mhm.
lose that human emotions as soon as you cross. So that's the wonderful thing about it.
Yeah. So when they cross, is there a choice? Are they presented with something, or is it just something in their mind?
um eh, when you cross, you know, if you walk into that light, which I've seen the
Mhm.
light, I've seen the light, I swear to God,
You see the
it
light. People
I
go.
have seen that light. It's crazy. It was just like in Ghosts, you know, the light, it was so bright. It freaked me out the first time I saw it. But there is a light, and you go into it, and once you go in there, you're healed. You don't feel bad anymore. But you know, it's you lose all this bad stuff, but it's still, and it's so close to where we are here on Earth. We are right next to each other. I'm sure you hear that all the time. I've heard it a million times too, and it's true. And I can't explain this. I don't even know how to explain this. I'm not very articulate in explaining things, but I know, like the one time I had felt it, it was like if I was 4 feet up in the air, and I heard somebody else say that one time, and I said exactly. I said, "Heaven is we're right next to each other, or the other side is right next to us." But it's 4 feet up in the air. I remember somebody saying, I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I experienced one time. But it's like we are in a bubble, and it's they're just the opposite, the outside of the bubble, but we're right next to each other.
The entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is that how we sense each other because we're kind of rubbing right next to each other.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we sense each other. But the whole thing is that that's why you're not going to always see spirit, because we can't live together, because they vibrate at a higher frequency.
Okay.
And
We had
yeah,
oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
um, when that's why I always, people that live in haunted houses or don't want to get rid of get attached to these spirits wind up becoming sick, or some people die. It's because of the frequency. Their frequency and our frequency are not the same. I've experienced like this really evil entity, not a demon. That word won't come out of my mouth, but it was really not a negative entity, and it made me sick for a week. It's the frequency. I could feel it in my body. It shook me right to the core, my frequency of my body, and that's how it is being around spirits. It will make you sick.
So these frequencies, can they change? Can you like evolve, or is a demon and a good person a good person?
Um, well, can it change? No, it's all right. So the ones that have crossed over, made it to the other side, vibrate at a higher frequency. It's very now that's where we connect as mediums, at that higher frequency. Now you see, now this is hard to do. to stay at that frequency. That's why you'll lose it after a while. It'll knock you on your butt, makes you tired. The lower frequencies are the earthbounds. So that kind of makes you feel nauseous. You don't feel so well. People will go into places, I don't feel good. I get a headache, because it's too low of a frequency. We call it the brown frequency. And when I had to study this as a shaman before I became a shaman and brought into the tribe. And I remember everyone in the class, because we were studying the violet frequencies, the white frequencies, and the brown frequencies. And everyone's like, oh, they're saying, what did you think? My teacher's like, what did you think of the white? Oh, so beautiful. And who liked the brown? And I was the only one. I'm like, oh, I like the brown. And everyone's like, oh my God, I was so sick. And she brought it to my attention. She goes, well, April invested. She's always in haunted locations dealing with earthbounds. That's that lower brown frequency. So I'm so used to it. Yeah. But it's not a good frequency always to be around, because it will make you sick.
Okay, that makes sense. Like being around certain people can make you sick.
Exactly. Negative people. If somebody's like, how you doing? My husband always says, like, he always says, I'm great. He always tries to like bring positivity around. But did you ever have that one person, hey, Bob, how you doing? Just a figure of speech. How you doing? Oh, well, not good. My daughter's sick. My wife is,
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh my God, I don't want to hear this, All right, everyone avoid Bob,
But you asked him how he was doing.
Yeah, I know, right? It's a figure of speech. We're from Jersey. How you doing? How you doing?
Hey. Yeah, my wife had passed me this.
Forget about it. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, so we had a request, and I don't know if you're okay with this. It's a very specific health question about someone in someone's life. Are you comfortable with that, or do you want to not do it such a specific?
No, I don't care. Wait, I'm sorry.
You're okay with it?
I get fidgety. So,
okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I do feel like inflammation around somebody.
Okay, so this is from Anna. It says, April, do you see Edward's kidney function will get better? He had COVID a month ago. Thank you.
The inflammation I was saying, because I was seeing a spot inflammation. I do see him getting better. I'm just seeing the inflammation above the kidney, around that area. The kidney, the kidney's actually inflamed. It's larger than the other one. Listen, he's going to be fine. It's going to take him a little bit longer, though. Like, this will take up to 6 months. Not that he's going to feel like crap for 6 months, but it's just going to. I can relate to this because I actually had a kidney issue. My one kidney was inflamed. That's why I was feeling that right away. So,
Wow.
That's another thing. As whatever, like the psychic or the medium, if they had any health issues, we can relate right away to people who had the same condition.
That makes sense. Well, isn't that life? Isn't that?
Yeah. I just want to say, this guy too, I feel like he, this pain in his leg or an issue with his leg for this woman that was just on. So, wait, can I see the comments? Let me see here.
Yeah.
And is he also having an issue with his leg? It's a kidney transplant. All right, because I'm seeing like the main artery in the leg. There's something with the main artery in the leg, having an issue with the leg. All right, so
she said leg, yes.
Yeah.
There's an issue with his leg.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is due to the inflammation, because I feel infection around this.
Anne says he has fluids in the leg.
Okay. All right. Yeah. He's going to be fine. Listen, I almost lost my kidney. Honest to God, almost lost my kidney. It was
scary.
like the size of my back. I've been to a million doctors like for 30 years. Nobody knew what was wrong with me. I found this one doctor, God bless him. And he knew right away when I walked in. I'm like, oh my God, 30 years. I'm trying to find what's wrong with me. My one kidney was so backed up with toxins, and I almost lost it, but we could function. I for some reason, is his kidney also enlarged because I see it getting smaller. Like, have they said it is gradually, like, there's a difference in it?
That's a very specific question. So when
Yeah.
and this is that feeling that you're getting, right? It's like an impression.
Yeah, I just like I'm telling you, that's that claircognizance. Oh, I
Yeah.
got it right. Woo, first time.
You
I just know, I know, and I could feel it. And I actually do this thing now where I you know how you see like the drawing of the body, the outline like that, you know.
Mhm.
And that's how I do it. And I show me, and in my head I'm like, show me where the problem is. So
And
funny.
thank you so much for
Yeah,
asking
thank you,
the
Ann.
question.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And I do want to go back, April, to your childhood, and I want, because I know as children we were all a little bit more sensitive than
Yes.
typically than when we were adults. Crazy question: did you ever see any kind of like crazy animals, cryptids, if you will, but in the paranormal realm?
No, no, I have not. But oh, wait a minute, anytime, Anne, please. And if you can, if you go on my website, email me intuitiveapril@gmail.com. I would like to, please keep in touch with you, and if I can give any assistance, because I do like to help people that are ill. That and children. That's the only time you can get in touch with me without an appointment. But so the Conjuring House. The Conjuring House. I was there last year
Yeah.
with Carl Johnson, one of the very first people to investigate it with the Warrens.
Mhm.
So it's funny. I knew for months I was going there for months, but there was this spirit taunting me. And he would come to me and he would tell me things. Oh, all these great things. I did this for you. I had just gotten something with TV. Something just happened, and we kept taking credit for it. And it was taunting me like, "I did this for you." I knew exactly where it was going at. It was on the property there. So I was waiting to go there. I said to talk to this thing, and he would talk to me. Now I'm driving. I'm at the Conjuring House. I'm probably a mile away, and all of a sudden I could see through the eyes of the woman that was in his house that caused all the issues. And she showed me that she was making poppets, those little voodoo dolls or whatever they are, and
Okay.
sewing it up. And she showed me through her eyes what she's doing. She put one like underneath the house, and others in a point on points that is the shape of a pentacle. But this thing I kept seeing is on the outside of the property. It can't cross the property line. And Carl and I walked out there, and Carl saw it. I said, "He's out here." He kept talking to me. I know what it is, but I'm not going to say it, yet. So what it was an elemental. I know a lot of people hear about them, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're so cute.
Yeah.
They're fairies." No, they're not cute. They're liars. They try and make you do things for them. The reason why it was trying to befriend me is because as a shaman, because there's a witch's curse. I'm not big into all the witch stuff and all that. Not that I don't believe, and God bless everyone that does it. I've read about it and I love it, like the Wiccan religion. But there's a curse on the property. This thing cannot cross the property line. I am a shaman. A shaman is the only one that can completely release a curse from land, from people. And it thought that befriending me, I would take this curse off the land so it can cross onto the property. For what reason, I don't know. And I don't want to know. So
All right, we're going to hold it there. We'll come back on the other side of this second break with our amazing guest, April Busset. This is Alan B. Smith for Paranormal Now on the Paranormal Pop YouTube channel. If you liked tonight's show, if you like past shows, please like, comment down below, and subscribe, and force click the notification button so you don't miss this show and Coffee and UFO episodes every week. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We have another hour to go. This is going to be an amazing night. Stay with us. We'll be right back. This coffee is delicious. Is that a UFO? I'm actually seeing a UFO. This coffee is awesome. That's why they call it alien coffee bean. Is this even made on Earth? Hey all, Paranormal Now will be syndicated on the UnX network, the new mainstream, where you can find your favorite hosts and shows on the cutting edge of ufological and paranormal news and topics. Listen for Paranormal Now rebroadcast on the X at 2 a.m. EST Fridays, 11 p.m. PST Thursdays at unxnetwork.com. Welcome back to Paranormal Now. This is Alan B. Smith. You're listening live on the Paranormal Pop YouTube channel, and it's rebroadcast every Friday morning, 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on KUNX DB. If you want to find out more about this show and other shows on the network, go to unxnetwork.com. All right, now in the comment section, I'm going to drop in the Skype call-in line. So if you want to call in a little bit later, that would be great. And we're going to bring April back to continue
Hey.
a fascinating conversation. April, I'm really enjoying this.
Me too. Hey, I
Like-
gotta tell you, this September is excellent.
Thank you. Yeah. They've been supporters of the show for a while now, and just really lucky
They're
that
very
we got to
good.
meet. And, and if anybody's interested, go to septembrio.com and you can get their music on iTunes or wherever you get your music.
Yeah, I'm gonna show my daughter. She'll like them.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and a lot of their music is paranormally inspired, so
No,
it's just built into a lot of the work that they do. Yeah.
I want to talk to them.
Okay. April, I have to say, if someone's going to represent New Jersey, you are a great representative.
Thank you. I love New Jersey.
Yeah. So you were born and raised. Did you ever get down to Bass River State Park area?
To where?
Bass River State Park.
No.
It's closer to Atlantic City. That's the stomping grounds of the Jersey Devil. And that's
yeah, I don't want to run into that. No.
Yeah, that's the legend that I grew up. That was our childhood cryptid.
I have a
And
friend that specializes in cryptids, and she's wild. She's an amazing girl too. Another blonde. She's a beautiful girl, mom, and she's an investigator, but she loves the cryptids, and she's also an expert in UFOs. I have to set you up with her.
okay, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Um,
she wrestles alligators too. No.
oh,
She's
really?
this little blonde. I'm like, I remember she was actually on Unidentified with Demi Lovato.
Oh, okay.
She was an expert for the show. But I remember like her
Oh, very cool.
promo, she gets like they're on a boat in Florida and she jumps out because she sees alligator poop or something, and she's going through it. This is fresh poop. And I'm like, ew, I'll never do that.
I suppose if you can handle alligator wrestling, you can handle poltergeists and cryptids.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of them. I love those guys.
Yeah, well, I was going to say you've had those physical encounters with ghosts. Have you had any situations where you felt you were really physically in danger?
Yes. I was called in. I was contacted by a woman, her husband. They were having issues at the home where they kept seeing this entity, this man, and it had attached himself to the husband, and he was possessed in modern time possession, not how you see, like, The Exorcist, and his head was spinning. But
Right.
as a shaman, we are taught how to see a possession as physical aspects of a person, and he was showing it. He could talk normally, but he was attached to this thing too. He didn't want to let it go. We are humans. We have free will. I cannot make this thing leave him if he won't let it, because he knows what he's doing. The guy liked this thing. And
Okay.
they had the also poltergeist activity in the home. One of the things that I look for when I question people for going on locations like this, residentials, which I believed it was a poltergeist. So I said, "Are you finding wet spots in the house where it's nowhere near water, by a sink or anything?" And she
Mhm.
said, yes. She said they would find, like, there'd be a puddle of water in front of the bed. Poltergeist, I can't remember exactly the see. I know with poltergeist they manifest from this water somehow. It is regular water, but there's one component in it that's like unknown. Or it is something, but it's odd how that would be in this combination. But they were finding that in the house. Also, this man was definitely possessed. So I went in there to try to release whatever was in the home and from him, basically doing like a mini exorcism.
Mhm.
And I'm doing the last prayer on him. And I know he's not going to let go of this thing, and he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
Free will. He wants this thing. It doesn't
Is
have complete control of him. He knows what he's doing.
is there a relationship between a ghost leaving this wet spot and the type of energy or emotion?
Um, I'm uh, I'm not sure the significance of it, but I know that's where they manifest from. That's where they draw their energy from.
Mhm.
And I have it in my notes. I remember speaking to my chief about this, like what is in the water that makes it different. And there was one thing different in it. I forgot what it was. I'll let you know.
Okay.
But
On
I'm
standby.
I'm talking to this man, and I know he's not letting go, and I'm leaving. I'm not wasting any more time, and I feel bad for the family, but there's nothing I could do. He's not going to let it go. I can't force it to go. People think right away you can force things to go, like you see in Poltergeist, with the little medium lady. That was adorable, but we can't force the spirit to leave. And but as I'm talking to this guy, I'm looking over his shoulder, and there's a white door across from us. And
Mhm.
all of a sudden, I see this big black figure. It's huge, it's like 8 feet tall, walk past it and black out the door. And then I'm like, I'm done. I am out of here. I don't feel safe.
Yeah.
This thing is scaring me. And I ran out of there so quick.
If someone like myself who doesn't have that ability, right? Someone listening to you now tell this
I'm
story.
crazy.
Well, no. How do they know for themselves if they're near a darker a spirit like that? Is there a particular sensation that people can kinda key into?
Well, their personality changes.
Hmm,
They are aware of this attachment to them, and they know it, they could feel it. The guy was perfectly aware of what was going on. But he was getting angry, and every time, like, it would take over him, he wanted to kill his wife.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and these are normal people, normal
That's
people,
scary.
and he owns like 4 businesses. They're very wealthy, well-to-do,
Mhm.
upstanding citizens, and but it was a shame that they were encountering this in their home.
Well, how do we know the difference between that and someone who's just having some kind of psychological episode or something physical, wrong with
Well,
their brain
here,
you're talking
I
about?
have a questionnaire that I take. Of course, I asked, drugs and everything, and I can always
Mhm.
sense when people are doing drugs, which he did. He liked to smoke pot or whatever, da, da, da. But
Pot's not gonna do it to you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. It really is. But I saw from with my own eyes this thing. Plus, there's another
Mhm.
thing, a physical aspect of a possession, and it affects the human eye when a possession takes place.
And what happens?
So I don't even know if I'm allowed to tell this. I meant to talk to my chief about this, but I'll say it. Not so with the eyes, with the pupil, I always take pictures of people's eyes on location, and
Mhm.
if the pupil looks to be bleeding, that's like because the pupil is a hole in the eye,
Right.
so it's not like but you'll see like his the if you see people with the bleeding, like it looks like it's dripping paint, like black paint.
Uh-huh.
That's a possession.
Wow.
It
Okay.
does cause a physical ailment on the body. It's crazy, but this guy had
When
that in both eyes. It was freaking me out. And I did see pictures of him before this happened, and his eyes were not like that.
to compare it, that kind of reminded me of the X-Files, the black oil that you would see in the eyes.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That so is it something like that, or is it more stationary? Like you just see it stationary?
It's yeah, more stationary. It's not dripping. It's not actually dripping. It's just
Mhm.
stationary, and I could see it. And I look at the eyes. I take a picture of it, and so I can, enlarge it to look at it better. And yeah, sure enough, this guy, this is going to be fun tonight. I did not like this thing, and he's not letting go. And I'm not putting myself at risk or my
Mhm.
family to do this. Like I will never do this type of case again. If I was single, didn't have a daughter, I will go head to head with these people. I don't care. I'm not scared. But now I have people to think about,
Yeah,
how I can
yeah.
affect them because it's just like the mafia. The mafia doesn't go after you, they go after the people you love, right?
So so a negative entity would go after people around you?
Yeah, they would know how to get to me. As a matter of fact, I did growing up. Now, see, this is another thing. So the last straw when I was a child of
Mhm.
these things that were haunting me and attacking me, pinching me, pushing me in my house, I woke up one night to this black thing. I used to call it the statue. It was little. I woke. I was playing with my doll, and I'm in the dark, but I know my doll's on the table. I'm playing. I turn over, and there's this thing in my bed, and it's this black thing, and it's dark in the room, but it's blacker than the darkness, and it had red eyes, and it kept telling me it was going to get me. This thing taunted me up until my how old was I? I guess about I think probably 29, 30. And the last straw was it went after my husband. Not physically, in my dreams, because it not only would I see it physically, but
Mhm.
it would, invade my dreams, my whole life, and in my dreams, it was letting me know it was going after my husband, and I'm like, "No, you're not." And I killed it in my dream, and I killed it in reality.
That's interesting. I had a dream many, many years ago of a friend of who passed away, and that he had come into my dream, and we were together fighting off these eh, almost amorphous but spiky kind of shadow figures, almost like demons, but they were just mostly black. That's all I can really remember. And
Yeah.
do spirits um help us fight off negative entities? And if they do they do it in the dream world, or is it in this world?
It's both. It could be both, but especially strong in your dreams because everything's in our mind. Everything is controlled with our minds.
True.
So, like, um, even when I do this work and when I'm go to locations or when I'm reading, everything's in my head. I have complete control in my arena in my head. Like if I see an apparition, I'm running because it's scary as hell. But like when people is there, it's like, why don't you, are you, does it scare you? I said, no, I have control in my
Mhm.
head, in my arena where I keep control of everything. So,
The
but
liquid that
but
you mentioned,
this friend had issues before the passing.
I mean, well, not issues is very broad, so something that I
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah, it's
say.
very broad, yeah, it's, not
But
demonic or
something
anything like that.
no, 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 but, he something I could think of, but I would never say publicly.
Yeah. I just
But it wasn't like we were young, and
yeah.
it wasn't like he was doing drugs or anything like
Yeah,
that. He was
yeah.
really beautiful, a beautiful soul.
No,
Yeah.
no, no. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's like basically fighting for his soul too. Like, um, I keep getting like a J or a G name around this
Wow.
person.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is that
Yeah.
them?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that their initials? No.
Yes.
Okay.
That's first and last name initial.
Yeah. All right. That's what
Holy cow. April, I was not expecting that.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, see, because see, they give me that information. Um, he's like showing me Star Wars type thing, like Star Wars. But
Hmm.
I mean, he's fine. Don't worry, he's fine. It's sometimes like I tell people because people are always like, "Oh, I had this dream," and I'm like, "Listen,
Yeah.
most of our dreams is our subconscious
Yeah.
spilling over, but we do see our loved ones in our dreams, and you are. It's just more of like sci-fi for you. I just feel like
For
this is
me, yes, I'm big on Star Wars.
yeah, that's why like we're sharing that like that's why something that you can relate to with
Mhm.
you. But it was kind of more fun with him.
That's
So
April, you're blowing my mind right now. Wow. And it's really beautiful that, like you said to Anne earlier, that you do help people
yeah,
who have, children or some health issues. I mean,
yeah.
that's really generous of you. And where does that come from? That kindness in you?
I don't know if it's kind. I have to for fellow humans. That's I just knew as a kid. I'm like, I have to help people. Like I always knew what I had to do in life. I knew my job was to protect people, to help people. You know, and because my personality is so strong and I'm fearless, so I'm tough. So even my dad was dying, like he loved that I was around because I would fight for him, so I wanted to do this for everyone. The people that don't have a voice, the people that are shy. My daughter's really shy. She'll never speak up. And so people like that, especially I gravitate towards because I'll protect you. Don't worry. I got your back. I'll take care of this. This is what I'm supposed to do. So,
Wow. And you got me teary-eyed, man. That's
uh,
wow. Okay.
you
So
ever see what's that movie? My God, I love this movie. Wait, God, what the heck is it? Where they're split up into categories. It's like sci-fi. Oh my God, why can't it? Jennifer Lawrence is in it. I think is she in it?
is it the Q? No.
No,
Um,
like some people are the healers, and they or the people that mine the fields and make food for the people. Then there's the fighters, those the people, the protectors.
is it Hunger Games? No.
Is it Hunger Games? So is it Hunger Games? No, it's not them.
Where she's a hunter
It's
or
no, it's another one. Is it? No, no, no. It's something else. It's not the Hunger Games.
okay.
Oh wait, it's not Jennifer Lawrence. It's something Wooly.
I don't know.
All right, I have to think.
If anybody knows in
Yeah.
chat, please chime
Oh
in.
my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, in life, it's realistic here too, because we have the people that are the healers, the doctors, the
Yeah.
kind people that help, and then we have the fighters that protect us. I always said I was always in that category. That would be me. I always tell my husband, that would be me. I would be the fighter.
Yeah.
What would you
What
be?
in where? In which
Oh, then
world?
they had the ones that were the smart people, the really intelligent people, which I know your wife and you would be in. So
Appreciate that. Um, of all the movies that are out there that represent, psychics, is there a movie out there that you really appreciate? Think
um
is fairly accurate?
um what did I like? Um, oh gosh. Some of them
Hereafter
I'm like,
is one of
what was it?
Hereafter with Matt Damon. It was a Clint Eastwood movie. I really enjoyed that one.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, there was something about it I didn't like. I can't remember.
Well, what bothers you the most about movies when you see psychics represented?
Well, the ones that how can I say? I'm trying to think which ones that I did not like. Well, like The Sixth Sense. I love The Sixth Sense. That was, you know,
Mm.
um, I could relate to that as a child, that happening, being tormented by the spirits, but it wasn't always like that. Like when I went to school, I was safe, outside of the house,
Mhm.
but I could relate to that. What else depicts? I really can't think off the top of my head.
Do ghosts avoid high populated areas? Are they always in a less populated house or a museum or some space like this?
They do like to hide in dark places where a lot of people are, so they like to hide in closets. The boogeyman. When kids are sensing that, they really are, because as children, all those boundaries are down, so they are psychic. You're more psychic than that's why the kids could see more things. The animals, they do. The boogeyman is in the closet. The boogeyman is under the bed. The boogeyman is in the basement, in the attic, hiding where nobody really goes. That's where you'll find them.
Uh, MJ Stephen was a recent guest, and she has a book, The Boogeyman Chronicles. Uh, I guess we all have something that haunts us when we're young. Do children have a certain resilience against evil spirits as opposed to adults whose more mature mind is also more complicated in its personal struggles, contradictions, ego, all of that.
Well, that does get in the way. So, as children, they're innocent and they're still in their imaginative mind where they use the right side of their brain mostly.
Mhm.
And that's why they could see it. So, like when I read, when I'm making connections, I use the right side of my brain. That's the imagination part, and that's where we connect with spirit. The left is the logical side. So, that's why when I'm doing readings, you'll see, I always tell people, listen, if I'm not looking at you, I scribble like Tyler Henry. It
Mhm.
occupies my logical side of my brain, the left side, from coming in. So
It opens it up. Yeah.
yeah. So now here's the kicker. See, this is the cruel part of having this gift. I can't
Mhm.
read my husband, my family. I can't read my daughter. And it scares me because I'm like, what if I don't sense something that might happen?
That's
Because
okay.
my logical brain will not let me go there seeing anything bad for my family, ever.
So do you think it's like a self-protective measure?
Yeah, self-protective measure, yeah, exactly. Just like, when I go to locations or when I love having my a client that I never read for before, blank
Mhm.
canvas, because then I could really pick up a lot of stuff. If I know too much, like if I get information, then my logical brain is kicking in. I'm already making an opinion. I'm like, oh, this person's an a-hole. I'm like, so I already formed that opinion, like a human opinion.
Well, once you do that, do you just stop at that point, or can
I
can
could
you actually
stop
continue
myself,
on?
but typical human too, we have our,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, I've met clients and I'm like, I can't stand this person. I'm like, I really, but that was from reading them. I'm like, wow, and in my head, I'm going, you are just a horrible person. And I'm like, and you're trying to justify yourself to me. And I'm like,
But does that happen then? I mean, do you get to know people and then something kicks in and you read something about them and you're like, "Oh my gosh."
yeah, that's happened. Not too much, but has happened a few times. It's happened a few times. I actually refused a reading one time. This man came to me for a reading. This is when I was trying to get into it. I was doing like the psychic fairs, which I freaking hated. But I remember this man coming up to me. I hated him. So I could, oh my God, I didn't want him near me. I just knew he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
And telling him, I'm sorry, I can't read you. and he's getting angry at me. I thought he was gonna grab me, like, and choke me because he's getting pissed at me. And I'm like, I got up out of my seat and I'm like, get out of here right now. I'm like, get out, get away from me, but he was a bad guy. I don't know what he did and get into it, but I knew he was a bad guy. But he did act out when I said, no, I'm sorry, I can't read you. I didn't say it in a mean way. I'm sorry, I'm not picking up anything. He got so angry at me.
Have you gone up to Lilydale in New York?
No, I have not. And please don't hate me, but I'm not a fan.
Of a spiritualist community in general, or Lilydale specifically?
The spiritualists.
Oh,
I've
why is that?
I've worked with them before. They're very narrow-minded. They were mean to me. I belonged to one where I was taking classes, and they were a little mean to me. They picked on me when they found out I was a paranormal investigator, a ghost hunter. Like, oh my God, they kept targeting me because they don't believe in that. They don't believe that spirits that could be earthbound.
Really? So
Yeah. And they would torment me.
as
Like, every time they would talk about it, she would look at me. I don't believe in this stuff. And then
yeah, so as psychics, what are they communicating if it's not spirit bound? Are they communicating to?
I don't know what they believe. I'm like, I just don't believe. I don't fall into all that BS love and light because it's not all love and light. It's not like that. Let's be real. There's bad things out there. Can't be all love and light. I would love to be. I do my part. I'm very compassionate, but also I'm realistic. Bad things happen. I'm not gonna be like, oh, love and light is gonna get rid of this. Let's think positive thoughts. No, that's not real life.
Well, you want to get to the light, but
In
you
order to get
have
to
to.
the light, sometimes you have to walk through the darkness. That's why I like the shaman community because that's what they do. We, as shamans, I always tell people, we work behind the scenes in
Mhm.
darkness to protect the people to stay in light. We are battling the bad stuff behind the scenes.
Some people don't want to talk about negative things, quote unquote negative things, right?
Yeah,
Um, and I think that's detrimental because sometimes you have to talk about the negative feelings that you're having in life. Whether it's just a
right.
bad day,
Yeah,
your back's off, or someone spoke to you in a poor way, or whatever it is. Sometimes you just got to talk about it, and,
you
and
gotta
then
talk
once you
about
talk
it.
about it, and someone listens to you and acknowledges what you're feeling, then it's easier to move on at that
Yeah,
point.
exactly, and that's all you have to do, and you know what? Life stinks sometimes, like, people come to, "Oh my god, my life is so bad, and Aunt Millie passed away, and she was 92," and I'm like, "That's not bad luck, I mean, that's life, there's gonna be ebbs and flows, in life, and people unfortunately, as we get older, people start dying off, and it's gonna be us one day, but it's not bad. Life is beautiful, but it's what we make of it. We're gonna get thrown some curveballs. I know I have.
Yeah.
You know? I'm sure you have too, but this what makes us stronger. It's not bad luck. People right away, "It's bad luck. I have you know, the horns on me." Yeah, as the Guineas say, "We have the horns on you,"
Mhm.
So,
And by
but
the way, only guineas can call themselves guineas, okay,
yeah,
for the record.
I'm
I'm
sorry. We always refer to each other like that.
yeah, no. I'm part, so I can say that. But yeah, so I wonder how that relates to the spirit world, because if we're not in this lifetime addressing certain issues, is that one of the reasons why spirits linger?
I think it's no, I don't think that's why they linger. I know people say like, when you come back to learn a lesson or I don't know, I'm not coming back again. No. But I'll tell you, I always say, listen, I don't want to ever leave my daughter. I would find it very difficult to leave my child. I
Mhm.
know crossing over when it's my time. I'm not gonna want to leave my daughter. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if I'm gonna make myself stay here because I love her so much the love for my child that I could
Mm.
cross over, but I know logically I can help her better crossing over, but I know I'm gonna fight it. I just know myself.
So then, I guess if you feel that way, then I assume you've met with a ghost or spirit. What do you prefer, a ghost or spirit?
It doesn't matter. I like
Doesn't matter.
Ghost better. It's like it's just a cool name. No.
Yeah. So I guess you've
Yes.
met a ghost that has lingered for a loving reason.
Yes. I as a matter of fact, the first I went to Christian Mansion last year for the first time.
Mhm.
And I remember this little boy. We met at a diner, and this little boy was following me around. And I know it was to do with this house that we're going to. And he kept telling me, "My mommy, my mommy's still here. She didn't cross over. She's looking for me. I crossed over. She can't see me." So the woman was in the house, still like looking for her son. So I never got to feel her in the house, unfortunately, because there was so much going on. There was so many different spirits, I couldn't get to all of them, but I know this little boy was trying to let his mom know that he was okay, he's crossed over, that she can cross over, and unfortunately, when I go to these locations, I'm not allowed to cross over any spirits because, it's a haunted location for a reason.
So you don't want to help them cross
Of
over.
course I do, I want to, but I can't, you're not allowed to. You know, they you sign contracts, didn't no using sage, no crossing spirits. So I want to. They'll eventually do it. They'll eventually do it. They go eventually. You can. There's always that light. That light. Let me tell you, when we pass, that light is so beautiful. Just like you hear about it, it's amazing, and you'll be so drawn to it. It's always there.
Yeah.
Oh,
You,
yeah.
you saw the light
Yeah.
that people talk about. How did you see it? How did you get to see it?
Well, one of the very first, locations where I crossed the spirit, and I talked this woman these people contacted me. They were having crazy things going on, so right away, I said to her, I said, "I'm seeing a woman in the house and things are getting knocked over." I wouldn't tell her what I was actually seeing. What I was seeing is like one of my biggest fears. You know, the creepy crawly women on all fours on their backs, like running really fast. That's what I was seeing. That's what she was doing. So when I got to the house, I walked right in. I went to the kitchen. On the shelves, I said, "She's knocking the things off the shelves." She goes, "That's exactly what's happening." So I said, "Let me do a walkthrough." I have not yet gotten to her, but I start going to the master bedroom, and all of a sudden I encountered this older woman spirit, and she's going, "Get out, get out, get out, get out." I'm like, "All right, all right." I said, "Who is?" I forgot what the woman's real name. I think I said Claire. Who's Claire? And she said, "Oh my God, that's my mom. She just passed." I said, "She's in the bedroom." I said, I guess that's where she protects everyone." She goes, "We all sleep in the master bedroom now because we're scared." So I said, "Don't worry, she's here. She's gonna kick any ghost ass that come in." So she was pushing me. So I said, "All right, let me find." I said, "You're hearing scratching on the floor, right?"
Hmm.
And she's like, "Yeah." So I start going down the stairs, and I'm like, we're going into the basement, and I said, "Who's Brian?" I said, "Brian, the fireman." She goes, "Turn around." And there's a fireman suit with the name Brian on it. He just passed away. This guy, I said, "He's also here protecting you." I said, "But that thing is here. Um, the woman's here." And I'm explaining what I'm seeing. I said, "It's really, this is like my biggest fear, seeing one of those things." They can change their appearances. A lot of people say shapeshifters. They're not actually shapeshifters, but they can change their appearance when you cross over. You can do whatever you want.
Hmm.
You know, I'm going to
Kind
be a
of
size 2, blonde hair, blue eyes,
like,
five
yeah.
nine.
You really like that blonde hair, don't you, April?
um,
Yeah.
Finally,
So
I got to talk to the spirit, and
okay,
I got her back to human form. She was looking for a husband. She in life was crazy. She went crazy. The husband had to put her
I
away.
see.
He sold the house to pay for where she was. He came
Mhm.
back looking for her. So I said, "Listen, he's on the other side. Just cross." And all of a sudden, that light appeared. It's the first time I saw. I was like, "Oh my God, this is the most beautiful thing." But it was beautiful, and she crossed, and she went over. And she's with her husband now.
Did it feel warm? Did it have a sensation, physical at all?
You know what? I can't remember. I think it was warm on my face, but it was more like, "I can't believe I'm seeing this." Honest to God, I'm like, "Oh my god, like, this is really friggin' real." I'm like I'm like, "This my mind is completely friggin' blown watching this light," and the people with me, they can't see it, I can see it. I'm like, "Oh my god, this is just amazing," and she crossed over, it was beautiful. That was one of my most successful, crossing over, no problem. The family was back together and, everything was nicey nice. But it's not always like that. Sometimes they don't wanna leave, and I can't make them.
You can point the way.
Yeah, I could point the way. Sometimes they hide from me.
I've heard that they hide from you because they're afraid of what you're gonna say.
Yeah, they know what I'm gonna do. You know what? Listen, I remember I used to there's more to this too. It's a whole 'nother
Mhm.
story. When I go to locations, but I know I always thought I was like, "Man, I'm powerful." I walk in his house, they're gone already. They're so scared. They're not scared of me. They were hiding. They're shutting down their energy so I can't detect them. And I'm like, "I don't feel anything here." I'm like, "I know it was here, but they're hiding.
Mhm.
They're not stupid." Like,
'Cause they just don't wanna deal with it.
yeah, they're like this dumb blonde. We're gonna make her think that, she got rid of us. Party
Wow.
after she leaves. No.
But then do you come back and catch them by surprise?
Yeah, I've had to go. I usually tell people, I might have to come back. Um, I'm sorry. That was Lance texting me.
Oh, he was texting me earlier today too. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
For
I
everyone
love
listening,
Lance.
Lance Hallowell, he, organizes the Pine Bush Museum lectures and the Pine Bush
Yeah.
UFO Fair. Really cool, very nice guy.
Oh, I adore him.
Yeah,
So,
good energy right there for sure.
well, you should
Um,
have him on the show.
well, I have
He's
discussed
such a cool dude.
I know, I know. I almost had Lance on before last year's Pine Bush.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. But who knows? Maybe we'll do it again sometime in the
Yeah.
future. We'll give it a try. I have a question here from Kat Brooks. Are you okay taking
Yeah.
another question? All right. So Kat says, "Can April see my BFF that passed in 1989 with me?"
Um, I don't know if this is them. I'm picking up a female around you. They have a very motherly feeling around them. I don't know if this is them or not. Oh, wait, there's a I motherly feeling, like, very protective over me. Um, are they responding? I keep feeling like this motherly feeling. I don't know if it's this person. This is somebody that would have taken care of me. All right. Yes. This is female. Um, I don't know if there was an impact.
For everyone listening, Kat says yes.
Okay. Or I feel something with my stomach, or if it was you're protected. Absolutely. Absolutely. Always around you. What a very kind soul, this person. I'm trying to I feel like I feel sick to my stomach. Um,
Kat Brooks says, "My protector."
yeah. Um, I feel like issue around my stomach. I do feel nauseous around them. But this person is definitely around you. Um, I keep seeing something with flowers. Oh, okay. See, oh my God, yes.
So Kat says, "Oh my gosh, yes."
All right. There's something with flowers or sunflowers. There's something with them or bees or okay. Oh, all right. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Because I feel like a shock to my system and I
Was
don't want
Kat
to get
says,
into details. Yeah.
yeah, Kat says, she committed, suicide overdose.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
That's
and overdosing can affect your liver, it can affect your
yeah.
pancreas, it can
I'm just sick to my stomach and
or drinking if that was involved. I mean,
yeah.
it can
Um
wreak. Yeah.
With the suicides, I gotta tell you, usually they won't tell me that they and that's how I know they did. Because when they try to hide stuff from me, like with that, I know it's, suicide. I just wait, oh, you
You
know,
mentioned something about you said you saw something like sunflowers or
yeah, sunflowers or bees, something with flowers around her.
Hmm.
Like, these are, like, signs or something. She's a very free spirit too. Very, very free spirit, like, she's free now, she's very happy. Um, she was such a kind person too, like, you would never think that, she was actually depressed. She was depressed, so, like, it's, like, almost not that she meant to do this, but she was, like, going down that road because of depression. I feel like she
You
had a
know,
lot of family issues.
I mean, a lot of people who are very nice are often, not often, but can be quite depressed, and you would have no idea.
You'll have
Out,
no idea. I'll tell you what,
kind-hearted
when I'm
people.
upset, you'll never know when I'm sad. You'll very rarely see me cry. I'll cry during readings, but in reality for life, yeah. But I'm not gonna commit suicide, don't worry. I'm staying with my daughter, I'm telling you. I'm an Italian mom.
Does that does
Um,
that intensify the situation being an Italian mom?
yeah. The sound just went out. Oh, that's crazy. That's a sign. That's a sign. Um, I just did this reading the other
Mhm.
day. This is, crazy, but, like, where secrets come out. The father was coming through, and he said, "Congratulate her on the baby." So I said, "Dad's here," and oh, she can't hear anything. Um, yeah,
Try, I don't I'm gonna put in the message for Kat to refresh her browser. Um, is everybody else able to hear, the live feed right now? Okay.
refresh browser, yeah.
So well,
Oh,
I do have another a question
yeah,
if you wanna take that.
yeah.
This is actually, uh, personal. It's from my wife,
Oh,
um,
I like your wife. I haven't even met her yet, and I like her.
and
Oh,
she asks, she says, she really misses her grandfather. He had a full life, but I feel awful that I wasn't there at the end. Is he okay?
Did cat got it, sign. Um, you're right, UFOT. Was it him or somebody around him listen, first of all, not upset about that. Um, not upset that you weren't there, completely understands. He very happy guy. This guy's very philosophical, but with a funny sense of humor, I feel, if this is him, right? Do you know him, Alan?
Mhm. I
Alright.
do.
Alright. Who had the issues with walking, or was it him or somebody around him?
Um,
Or
well, he did at the towards the end of his life have a cane.
okay. I feel like somebody can't move their legs. He keeps showing me somebody that can't move their legs. This is another
Hmm.
male around him that he has
I
with him.
wouldn't know.
Was there now this is gonna be another relative. This is your grandfather. Did he have a brother that had issues walking? I can't alright, but um he keeps, like, showing me, like, he's a reader too. I see somebody looking, like, through a magnifying glass, reading, like, researching or doing a lot of reading. Is this him?
He was very in self-educated,
Okay,
and
like, I'm researching, yeah.
he read newspapers, he listened to the radio, he always wanted to know about new things. He was a very, very curious mind, and,
As a
yeah.
matter of fact, he reminds me of your wife, like, see, did he take a lot of notes? Because I keep seeing, like, handwritten books or something handwritten that I'm looking at, and I'm really
Uh,
intent on this.
I can't speak to that. I don't know about, notes, but, he was very analytical and intuitive, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but a nice guy.
But
It's
I'm getting thumbs ups, so
alright.
you're on point so far. Yep.
Um, I wanna know who the person is that has the issues with the legs. Like, I don't know if I lose my legs or is it something I can't. It's another male.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll have to think about it or call a family
Yeah,
member
yeah,
and
yeah,
find out.
that's okay. That happens a lot. Listen, they called psychic amnesia. I was reading this lady live one time, and I'm saying, "Listen, she's telling me, she wanted to know about her boyfriend." I said, "Listen, Jean, this woman Jean is coming through, and she says she's giving you a blessing on this relationship, so it must be good." She goes, "I don't know what Jean." She goes, then she starts talking. She goes, "I just want to know about my new boyfriend because he's, a new widow, and I did know his wife Jean."
Mhm.
Jean. I just said Jean.
Just kidding. Right. Well, she just let me know that yes, his legs did hurt.
Okay.
I didn't know that there was an issue with legs. So yes, his legs
There's
hurt.
something more. I know since it's a leg night, it's gonna be the leg night, just like working out. Like
Oh, yeah, true.
tomorrow we're
Yeah.
gonna do our lats. No, no. Yeah, because there's an issue. I almost feel there's somebody else parallel to him that had
Mhm.
issues in the family, like loss of movement in the legs, because he's with them. He also has there's a child with him too. So I know somebody lost a child because there's a child there too.
They they he and his wife lost their first child.
Okay, the child is with them. I don't feel the grandma, I feel him. I feel him. I feel like I'm taking care of another male. I can't walk. I know this physically. This person had issues, not the grandfather. This other person. So you would know this. You should know. This. I don't know who this is. All right, maybe you'll find out later.
Mhm. But for everyone listening, this was not my intent tonight to
Yeah.
do readings at all, really, and to even be about
I
myself and
love
my work.
doing I
But I
love
really
doing live
appreciate it.
readings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. You can have me on anytime to do live readings.
Well, yeah,
I
and you have a gift clearly, and certainly don't want to ever abuse that.
Oh,
Um,
no, it's not abusive. Yeah.
well, I do wonder, do people try to take advantage of your gift?
Well, you know what I don't like? I don't like say, "Hey, you wanna go out?" And I know I'll go to my husband. "I gotta
Mm.
sing for my supper tonight."
Yeah, so you want to go out to this restaurant, and then you
Yeah.
get there and they start hitting you up with questions.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm like but you know what I do now? Like, when I go out, because when I just wanna hang out with my friends, and I have a very small group, and I always say, like, if other people come, I said, "Listen, I'm not reading. I'm hanging out. I'm drinking wine. I'm normal tonight."
Yeah, please let it go. Well, but that's interesting because there's someone in our family who was very much the same way. Everybody went to this person for answers, like because they had this ability and was like, just don't come to me every time.
Yeah.
Just give me a break here, And so Cat Brooks, just so you know, says regarding her friend, just so you know, she was super caring and an EMT. So she cared for everyone. And yes, you are spot on. Thank you. Just confirming for you.
Oh,
That's
thank you, Kat. I appreciate that. I'm glad you can hear again too. Nothing worse
yeah,
when you're in the middle of a reading and that happens. Aw. Hi,
yeah. And
Arian.
why is that a sign? If the sound goes out, have you experienced that before?
Yes, like when there's technical difficulties, it's crazy.
Wow. Okay. So that's new. I mean, often we joke about that, right? Like
They
the
do
sound
affect
cuts.
that. Yeah, because it's energy. We're energy. So when we cross over, we are a big bundle of energy. And that's why they control the electronics. Like, it's the weirdest thing.
Right. So I was going to ask you, what's your take on EVPs?
Oh, my
Um,
favorite.
how accurate, are they?
All right, so they are very accurate, and you can use anything to pick up an EVP. It's just that some like I'm not. That's the one thing I'm not great with is Claire audience. Claire, I have friends that are into ITC that have great ears, and I said, that's actually a psychic gift. But I do because you do capture. I remember I know how much time we have left, but I remember there was one place I didn't know where we were going. My friend said, "Listen,
Mhm.
we're going to go investigate. A friend of mine's having an issue at her house. I don't know the address. They are driving me there." So in this group chat, they're like, "Are you picking up anything?" I said, "I keep hearing suicide, and there's multiple suicides here. I am also picking up that there were bodies buried here, but they had to move them." So I remember my friend in capital letters saying, "How do you do this?" So we get to a place, it's a condominium. There was multiple suicides. A mobster in the 70s used to live there. He buried bodies in the back, but the FBI, found out about it. He had to dig up the bodies and move them. Anyway, but
Mm.
there was a lot of the energy was really bad there. There was a lot of suicides. And I remember
Yeah.
my friend asking me, going, "Did you die here?" And clear as day, the guy's like, "Yes." But we've had complete sentences. But
Mhm.
then you get this is why I was just it's funny, I was making fun of somebody over the weekend. The DR60s that are the world famous, everyone wants that recorder, it's $1,500. Ghost Adventures uses it. But then I noticed if any of you are ghost hunters, do you ever notice it's the same friggin' voice? And I called the angry guy. It's like always like this when they pick up something. I'm like, it's the same voice on everyone's recorder. How can everyone have the same spirit? It's when it's because of the volume, when it's up too high. And
Mhm.
even if like you
It's
hear
super
the
hot.
rubbing of the shirt, yeah, rubbing of
Yeah.
the shirts comes up. So everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's a demon," you know.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like if you go into a mic really loud and then turn volume all the way up, it gets that really it
the
creates a kind of
angry
a
man.
almost yeah, like a almost a bassier sound to it as well,
Yeah,
mixed with that garble and high pitch. Um, so we're getting to the end here, April. Are spirits always with us? Are our loved ones, are they always around us, or do they kind of come and go?
they come and go. They can do whatever. Like they transcend time. They can, but they know when we need them. I'll tell you when my mom how she communicates with me is through music, and we have there's 3 songs that will come on when I really need her, and these friggin' songs will come on and like different genres. And I'm like that. There are no coincidences. They'll like play back to back. One's a train song, Drops of Jupiter, and the other
Okay.
one's Lou Rawls, You'll Never Find. Like, how does those 2
Um,
songs play next to each other? It's like because she loved the Drops of Jupiter. She was dying at the time. She was in the hospital. I woke up one night. I just woke up and I
mhm.
turned on the TV and that song's on, and I said to myself, "Oh my God, she's gonna die. Tonight she dies." So the song's playing, and as soon as it ended, the phone call came that had rushed to the hospital and she died. But that song, I knew this song. This is like our song, so she'll always play that when I'm sad or when
So
I'm having a
she
hard time.
so she knows.
She
Yeah.
knows.
When you read, um, are you calling it out to them somehow, or do they know? Oh, you're with so and so, and then they come down or down. I'm using metaphorically.
Oh, so what I do is like when I sit down, I kind of raise my energy, I raise the vibration. I'm physically seeing it. I could feel my energy go higher. I wanted to go as high as I can, the frequency to go as high as I can, so I could reach that
Mhm.
sweet spot where spirit is, that highest frequency. And then I call them like, if is anyone before I go on, is anyone here for Jane Doe that wants to come and give her a message, and that's how you should. And very rarely that you're not always going to get who you want because it's not Verizon. You can't,
Mhm.
dial the dead here.
Sure.
And sometimes you got to go through a few other dead people to get to the one you want to hear from. That's what sucks, because that's happened. And I had people get mad at me. I have a lot of funny stories about my.
You do, and unfortunately, I
I
could just
know
keep
there
going
are
with you, but there's no more
I
time.
have, guys.
Yeah.
I have friggin' stories. You'll die, and especially you see how I am. My comebacks to them. So
Yeah, yeah, your slapbacks. So I'm going to put the link here for the Pine Bush Museum gallery lectures, and your lecture is coming up April 22nd.
After your
And
lecture on April 1st, which is my birthday.
indeed,
Yeah.
cheers. Yeah. It's funny, April 1st doing a paranormal lecture, so we'll see. We'll see how the equipment holds up. Um, so yeah, everyone, check that out. And then April, where else would you like people to go to find you and communicate?
Oh gosh, I can't even think where. I know I'm going to be at the Rochester Parafest in Rochester, New York,
Mhm.
the 24th or wait, 25th to the 27th. Where am I? I'm going to be at the New Jersey Parunion Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. I'm everywhere, but go to intuitiveapril.com and all
Mhm.
my events are there. I just had my event with Dave Schrader from the Holzophile. We were reunited.
All right. Paranormal Reunited. Okay. April, thank you so much for tonight. I really
Thank you
appreciate it.
for having me.
Yeah.
Alan, as soon as I saw your show, I'm like, I like this guy. I like him.
Thank you. I appreciate it, April. Honestly, that means a lot. I mean, great energy. And I hopefully we'll see each other again in Pine
Yes,
Bush.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Bye,
good night,
everyone.
April. Thank you all for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. As always, please like, comment down below, subscribe to this channel. We're trying to make it grow. We're trying to get to 500, and we're getting there little by little, but every little bit of help that you can give and share this video, I would really, really appreciate. As always, peace and love to you all. And until next time, live in the mystery.